G'day everybody and welcome back to the Hardball Gets AFL show. This podcast is proudly brought to you by the Mazda BT50. You do ute. Today on the show, it's the 6 points out of round one going into round two. If you haven't followed us on Instagram at Hardball Gets AFL, why don't you go and do that? And if you haven't left us a review in a while on Apple Podcasts, why don't you stroll down and let us know what you think. All right, let's get stuck in. This is the Hardball Gets AFL show. My name's Nick Rynne, joined by Xavier Ellis and Chris Robinson. Gentlemen, tapping them.
Oh, great to be here. I mean, that's an easy edit, or don't edit it, and then this all makes sense.
I think we just let's let it ride.
Yeah, that's what we do here. We just let it ride. But, mate, Robbo, great to see you again.
Testing. Have I got a mic now? Thanks, producer Michaela.
You're good.
Robbo's back for his first full episode of the year.
First full.
And I feel so welcomed when you go to speak into the mic and it just does
nothing. It's a sign.
Yeah.
It's like starting in the midfield and making your way to the back pocket. Next you're out.
Yeah. What's that? What's actually happened in these first few days? Well, I know what's happened. We talked about the bump a lot.
Well, do you want to start with the bump?
Well, yeah, all right, let's just get straight into the 6 points.
The only thing is if we chew the fat too much at the top, you might chew up one of the points.
This is true. All right, well, let's get straight into it.
So you can chew the fat at the end if you feel like unsatisfied.
Done. So we'll let just for people who haven't tuned in to this episode before, 6 points. So going into every round, just throw around 6 points of interest for the week. And then that leads into hardball bets with Robbo and I going head-to-head after a stunning start where Fremantle cooked us both.
Sure did.
But we might as well kick it off with X. You want to talk about the bump?
Well, let's start with the bumps, okay. Firstly, I haven't seen much like that. It was sort of an NRL-style shoulder charge.
We talked about it on Monday. It was laughable.
Yeah, where there's 6 to 7 week suspensions. Yep. Anyway, so
the NRL's already ruled it out.
What?
The shoulder charge.
No, that's dumb. Yeah. But if that happens, it's a 7-week suspension, regardless of concussion and stuff. Anyway, so I put up a tweet last night. Now, you guys work in the newspaper media world. If you were to post a survey results, would 657 participants be big enough to
you'd count that, I reckon,
to contribute to finding?
Yeah.
Okay,
yep, that's fine.
So I jumped on Twitter and I said, to the eye, which one looked worse? Now, there's 3 options: Pickett, McAdam, or very similar.
Yep.
Now, how do you feel like the votes would have come through?
80% Pickett?
I think McAdam.
You think McAdam's was worse? 73% said Pickett's was worse, 16 McAdam, and then 11% said similar or the same. So I think Cozzy Pickett's was much worse.
I think
full-blown jump. It was like a flying headbutt you see in a bar fight.
And the ball wasn't in dispute. That's the one McAdam has. Like, the ball was still in dispute.
Yes.
Pickett, the ball was gone.
Yeah.
He just jumped into his head.
So McAdam, I think, would have been extremely bad if Ware hadn't got up.
Yep.
Which he went off, but he was okay.
But the same. Can you imagine if Bailey Smith doesn't get up?
No, but I think that's where Cozzy's got no argument. He jumped.
Yeah.
Whereas with McAdam, you're a bit like, oh, yeah, it was vicious.
Yeah.
Does it almost go under the Damien Hardwick too hard rule? He had a rule that just you hit someone too hard, that must be a free kick. Don't get me wrong, the action needs to go. They both deserve their suspension. I just don't think McAdam deserves more than Cozzy at all.
No, I think the AFL did this to themselves, right? The whole reason this is still being talked about is because they gave them the 2 different, for what looked like very similar incidents with very similar outcomes, they gave them the 2 different rulings.
But why?
Well, this is the question they need to answer, right? And I don't know if Michael Christian's come out and said exactly why, but
they were advertising a spot on the tribunal board too.
Were they?
Yeah, no, I don't think many people put their hand up.
No, it's not the best role.
Why would you?
I think he was happy back in the Channel 10 days.
Yeah.
Chris, but I had a look, so I actually pulled up like the tribunal guidelines and everything else, and the 2 points that piqued my interest were, in the big preamble, it says a potential to cause impact must be factored into determination.
Well, they both
impact.
have potential.
Yeah, they both have
huge
potential. And it sort of specifies it around high free kicks. The absence of injury does not preclude the classification of the impact as severe. So that's the difference between the two. They called Pickett's a high impact and McAdam's severe impact. Whereas Pickett's, the potential for injury there was arguably equal to, if not greater.
I think
so. You could have easily said severe.
I think if you had the notepad and pen in front of you, you would tick the same boxes on both.
I think you would, and it just seems like an unnecessary I don't know if they went with the Pickett one early and then said, it's got to be more.
Yeah, maybe they've gone, shit, this might be a trend of the game. We've got to boost this one up.
Yeah, but then not knowing that would cause an even greater reaction on the back end.
3 weeks was...
I thought 3 weeks fine.
No, fine. But why wouldn't you just get 3 weeks to start with?
You start at 3 weeks.
So, but you go to the tribunal, you sit... What a waste. Just give him 3 weeks.
Yeah.
If it's something like 6 or 7 weeks, I get the whole kerfuffle of going to the tribunal. It's just 3 weeks.
Yeah, just give them 3 weeks to take the 3. And Adelaide...
they're going to challenge it, yeah.
What? Just take the 3 weeks. They're only contesting it because Pickett got 2.
Well, I also think maybe they think they're a finals team and McAdam... I like McAdam. Maybe they think if we can get a discount on this, why not?
Well, have a ping. It doesn't cost you much, does it?
10,000.
Well, I don't know what a legal fee is.
No, I think you've got to pay 10,000 to challenge
just
regardless.
There,
and you've got to pay the lawyer.
Yeah. Well, I think maybe some of those lawyers might do it for a bit of notoriety.
Yeah.
Not sure.
Some of the ones with QC next to their name probably not in the notoriety game. No,
it's KC now,
Sorry,
KC in the Sunshine
really
game.
quickly, what do you think, Robbo, around the chats of sin binning?
Well, that's my point. So let's blow the siren and roll straight into it.
Quick, it's not fast enough. I was almost going to dive into the point.
Thanks for setting me up.
It's got a segue, boys.
Well, yeah, we didn't pre-plan this either.
We didn't. That's smooth stuff. So obviously Scott Pendlebury put this on the agenda earlier in the week. It's something that I'm all for. The AFL is one of the few major codes that has no mechanism to eject a player during the game.
Yeah.
So even in cricket, if you bowl a couple of beamers, you're out of the attack. You can get yanked from the attack.
What game did that happen in recently? It was a state game I was watching. Or T20 game. T20 games. Yeah. Double banger.
Yeah. So, but there's no mechanism. So in theory, you could go around and just absolutely whacking blokes. You could take out 3 of the opposition's best players. And there's no mechanism to remove you from the game.
This is a one area, like AFL is streets ahead of the NRL in 95% of all facets.
Yeah.
But this one, they lag so far behind. The NRL's got this like.
What are they fearing? A rule change?
Yeah.
But even at lower levels, though. But even at lower levels, going through to Waffle Colts, Ammo's country, you can absolutely get sent off.
Well, there's a blue card in
the concussion
seniors.
Yeah.
Which is that?
But that's around concussion stuff, though, right?
But is that the person who does the hit?
No, they get.
No, that's the victim.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Yeah.
So the victim's off for normal time anyway. Then. I thought the blue card was for someone to go chill out a bit and just get their smell the roses. Have 15.
No, they wouldn't give him a blue card for that. Blue's quite serene and
right.
Yeah, it's calm.
Ocean flavours. I don't know. To the people who say where do we draw the line in terms of where you'd get ejected,
Deaths.
I think
the umpire.
Deaths.
Yeah, it has to be dead or dying.
Yeah.
No, but the people who ask that question, it's like, well, the answer to that question can't just be, we don't know, so let's just not draw a line, full stop. You have to draw a line somewhere. Surely we have the people in the ARC who are reviewing everything.
I agree with the ARC.
Surely you can say it doesn't need to be an instantaneous decision, but surely they can take 5 minutes, 7 minutes, 8 minutes, whatever it is. The next kind of centre bounce or big stoppage in play, the emergency umpire runs out there or whatever. Hey, number 22, he's gone.
Yeah. Well, they use that like the HIA in NRL. It doesn't happen straight away,
exactly.
but it can be like...
So it doesn't need to stop the game. We don't need to wait for 5 minutes while we watch 10 million replays.
And then they stop it at the moment and go, him, off. Yeah. But I also argue, the person who's doing the hit, like say, Robbo, I'm tagging, back in the day, I was tagging Adam Goods. Mm-hmm. And I thought...
Good luck to you.
Well, I thought... Bugger you, Goods. You have this. Bang.
Yeah.
Too high.
Yeah.
He's not much in it, but he's been told you have to come off for the 20. Then I run around the 22nd best player on the team, still free, and their best player's cooked. Mm-hmm. I think if you're forced to do a HIL, whatever they call it in AFL, grab your deck chair, buddy. You're sitting there. If it is deemed a rocket launching, cannonballing,
it's got to be an actually.
So that's why an umpire or
so
someone needs to be there to go. That's definitely a suspendable action.
I think you could qualify it. Yeah, I think you could qualify it as something that's reasonably expected is going to result in a multiple week suspension.
Agree.
So not the ones where it's kind of like, oh, is he going to get a week for that? Is he not going to get a week for
like
that?
Buddy Franklin's play on.
Yeah, 100%.
Play on, no, absolutely
but
nothing. But
something where everybody, a reasonable person could look at it and say, I think he's probably looking at multiple weeks for that. Yeah. Then you're out.
When the first thing we say is how many.
Not
if. It's like, how many for that?
Yeah.
And I'm all for replacing the player. I'm not saying play a man short. I'm just saying that if you've done the act to have someone removed from the field, so off you come too.
They should have some kind of algorithm in WhatsApp. Like if that highlight gets shared between so many WhatsApp groups within 5 minutes, you're out, mate.
How many comments on Twitter in the first 5 minutes is the player called a dog? And then that's the limit.
You got to sit for 10, mate. Sorry, just cool down.
You've been called a dog 1,000 times on Twitter. You're off.
You're in the doghouse. That's what we have on the sidelines. Little doghouse.
Sponsored by Pedigree. I'm making money all of a sudden.
That's good.
Well, no, this is where it'll come in the AFL. If we can get a commercial partner on board, they'll be all for it.
Before you know it, there's an influx of people getting sent off too.
Yeah.
Just to make the deal seem right.
Just happened. So what was I going to go into? Oh, the question was raised during the week, so I think it was on Footy Classified. The talk of bottoming out and the talk of what's happening at Hawthorn. Question was thrown up, or the question was, does it affect the culture of the club? Does it create a cultural issue?
Yeah.
And I don't know if that's... I just wanted to have the discussion about whether that's a real thing or not, or whether... I mean, I feel like Hawthorn bottomed out once and then came out of it with a dynasty. So it's not like... There is a pathway.
Jordan Lewis, Buddy Franklin, Jared Ruffhead didn't walk into a team that was winning.
Yeah, no, this has happened before, and the culture didn't...
I think they won 3 games the first 2 years, maybe.
So this is what I was going to ask you.
6 games total.
Specifically, because you were around. I mean, you were part of it. Old top 10 pick over here.
Yeah.
Was there... Did it seem like there was a... or was it just the kids that happened to play?
It was a torturous place, mate.
Yeah, I imagine.
Absolute torturous.
Yeah.
The only time it wasn't fun, you go to Port Adelaide and lose by 100. But apart from that...
Yeah.
It was a great place.
And they're not a team, when you bottom out like that and bring in top-end talent, you're not going to get pumped at 100 every week.
Things were also very different back then. Like, on a Tuesday... These days you have train, day off, can't come in, CBA, can't come in, CBA. We were like, righto, main days, Mondays of the group. Tuesdays, every single young player, 1 year to 3 years was in. You'd run the golf course to start, extra fitness. Then you'd go and do extra touch, extra kicking, extra. Yep. Then you'd go into the coach's room with Clarko and just dissect the game plan a little bit further. Then again on Friday, the similar sort of thing. The AFL players would be in there and do the thing. You'd be in there on your day off, compulsory, doing more work.
Yeah, okay.
And that became, 1, you're getting better, but 2, you're as thick as thieves.
Yep.
Like, you'd go and do your stuff and then disappear for breakfast together or go out in the piss the night, after the... Like, it actually made the team tighter, was the ability to do more hours as youngsters. But, I don't think it hurts the culture. I think Sam Mitchell's ahead of the trend.
So
I think we will look at the curve when a new team comes into Tassie and there'll be, again, 6 teams that can't get their asses off the canvas.
Yep.
And Hawthorn will be skipping up the ladder because they jumped ship 2 years before everyone else.
And they got everyone in.
You can make the case that it's more damaging to your culture in the long term to be stuck in no man's land.
Well, yeah.
Well, that's right. You're better to be really good or really shit.
You can make that case.
Yeah.
You don't want to be stuck there for... I mean, look at Essendon, look at St Kilda.
Yeah. So this is what I think about. My shower at work, every morning I have a shower. Yeah. The hot water system's either boiling hot...
you don't shower at home, do you?
No, home. It's either lukewarm or nothing really. Give me it spice and hot or cold. At least cold, I feel like I'm doing something right.
Show me something,
Don't give me this lukewarm stuff.
Show me something.
And that's the ladder. Either good at the top or good down the bottom. Don't give me this middle area. It's just lukewarm and shit ass.
Well, I was trying to remember who would... There's only really 2 clubs
the plumbing team at Triple M is on notice.
All right, now everyone...
They've been publicly called out.
I just want everyone to close their eyes and picture me in the disabled toilets nude having a shower.
In a lukewarm shower.
Freezing cold.
Yelling out, come on, shower, lift.
Yeah. No, the amount of times...
Show me consistency.
I don't know whether I can say this or not.
I don't know what you're going to say.
The amount of times, the most used phrase of the last 5 years is me walking off going, this fucking shower. And getting my towel because I'm so cold. I would say it 3 times a day. Anyway.
So I was trying to think of the only 2, I mean, really, the only 2, and then there's a third around the mark of teams who haven't been able to stay up without bottoming out at some stage. But it's Sydney, Geelong, and then Richmond are probably the next.
Like Richmond were very mediocre for a long
Richmond
time.
No, but this is
from the 2019 to, well, I suppose that's not very... No, 2017. 2017 to 2023 is a decent stretch of the top.
It is,
top-ish,
but even
right?
2016 they were irrelevant.
They had a dip game. Sydney had a dip game. A dip year, sorry.
1, yeah. Sydney had 1.
Yeah.
And Geelong's had 1 where it wasn't even a dip year. They finished 10th or 11th or something, so...
Yeah, but apart from that, you just got to do it at some point, don't you? And if you might as well just get it over with.
Oh, mate, ripping a Band-Aid off.
Yeah.
100%. If you're going to be bad, you might as well be really bad.
Or if I was going to hit you in a car, do you want me to hit you at 30 Ks 10 times, or just hit you at 100 at once?
That one's a little bit different.
You're taking the ones.
That one's a bit
Just take your one. Just take your one hit. Just empty out. And I think
survival rates
there's a team in Perth that needs to do the quick.
Oh, they need to do the quick one and quickly. Yeah.
Just going to have to watch out in the car park.
Yeah.
So it's got to be quick, mate. You don't want to go slow. You don't want 1,000 cuts.
So I think I'm going to survive 10:30s.
Right, here we go. You can tell I've been home alone for about the last 6 years.
Yeah. I love your notes today.
We've got another instalment of what Zave's written his notes on today. What have you got for us today, Zave?
Just a little post-it note. Just
a post-it note. It's actually about the best I've seen from you, to be honest.
I've got a two-part question for you.
Written on two different post-it notes. You're holding both of them up at the same time.
Do we want to talk about West Coast and Freo's draws, or do we want to talk about Sheasel and the flag?
What's the draws about?
So I'm just going to randomly quickly go through it. So West Coast won 2 games last year.
Correct.
And in their next 7 games, they've got Richmond, Port, Geelong, Demons, Fremantle, Carlton.
That's
good luck.
Great.
And the Freo team, what have all these teams got in common? Just from the weekend. West Coast, Adelaide, Suns, Hawks, Brisbane, Dogs.
All lost.
But anyway, Harry Sheasel. Hey, the flag. So, did you catch up with that story about the flag being removed? Harry Sheasel had
this is just starting to come through now.
Starting to come through.
Wait, what's the yarn?
So, a flag was taken from a supporter who was displaying the Israel flag for Harry Sheasel.
Okay.
Anyway, it was removed from him by security. But I was just having a quick think. So I was just reading then that AFL admits there's been a mistake made after a patron was told, I love this setup here too. Looks like I can read
you've got a little prop up.
A patron couldn't display the Israel national flag in support of Harry Sheasel on the weekend. The league insists it fully supports fans' national flags at matches. I was going to say, because off the top of my head, really, really quickly, what do you see behind the goals at Collingwood?
Black and white? What?
The American
flag.
Oh, is it?
Yep.
What do you see at all the Geelong games and especially grand final day? The Irish flags get displayed absolutely everywhere. Oh yeah, mate. That's Zach Tui just carrying a little bit of ocean on the field close to his heart.
This
the Irish flag.
Mate. Ocean?
Did we?
We don't know.
Ocean.
Here?
It can be whatever he wants to be. And Nick's got one supporter, and it's Nick, so it can be whatever Nick chooses.
Need like an Ocean watch.
I actually do have. That's the one. No, I've got 2 garlic jerseys actually. I was given a Mayo one back when I was playing. Yeah, so close to my heart.
Yeah, so the flags. Like I love seeing the flags in the crowd.
Yeah, same.
I reckon at the end of every game, where a UFC or whatever it is, where there's the national flags or whatever, I think it's fantastic.
I think there's obviously like political connotations to the Israel-Palestine thing, but you're putting that on it by removing it.
Yeah.
If someone just wants to hold up a flag in celebration of their country, right? Like you're making it political by removing it.
Correct.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, totally. If you're causing no harm.
I mean, if Yao Ming wants to come play in the NBL, are we taking the Chinese flag down?
No, no. Are we taking TikTok down?
No. I hope not. No. I'm caught up on the summer bloody...
What's the For You?
Summer beach shots.
I don't want to see your For You page, mate.
No. My For You page, this is funny enough on... Oh, that's Matt Wright, the croc hunter. A lot of crocodiles go through the algorithm. Well, yeah, my For You, crocodiles, snakes, sharks... That's about it, really.
That'd be the lot, yeah.
That's when Ted's talking, you give it to him, Ted, just shut up. I'm watching the footy. Watch some sharks. All right, sorry, move along.
Back to me. This is a little AFL fixture bugbear / something that just absolutely baffles me. The most blatant missed opportunity of the season when we're talking about fixturing and who plays where and all the rest of it. How can Ross Lyon not be coming back to Perth to play Fremantle over here?
It's not happening.
At any point this season.
That is an oversight.
Because I'm so intrigued as to how he gets received by Fremantle fans, because I can see it both ways and everything all mixed into one. I can see a nice reception. I can see some disdain. I can see all of it there. How is he not coming back to Perth at any point this year to play Fremantle?
Can I extend the question? What have they done with Clarko and Hawthorn? They've done twice, you reckon? I'm going to have a quick gaze at that.
I'd be pretty confident they'd be doing 2.
That's 2 massive opportunities.
It's an absolutely bizarre one to me.
I have to say, if you were getting tickets to that game, you'd probably leave after Ross walks on the field or something. Just I'm not staying around to watch that again.
Watch this.
No, thank you. I'm not paying my hard-earned for that.
Yeah, I mean, that's true. It was a tough watch.
Next week, Clarko v Hawthorn is one.
Okay. Yeah. I'm pretty confident there'll be another one somewhere down the line.
Yeah, they haven't even waited that long. They're going again early July.
Yeah. And bear in mind, there's the extra double up now. There's 6 double ups.
Oh, it's true. The extra
instead
game.
of 5 with the extra game.
That's sort of my point with West Coast. How have they won 2 games? And the extra double ups and stuff are still like that.
Oh, the line.
Surely, if you've won 2 games, you've got, even if they sneak in a game against like Subiaco or something to try and get some confidence up. Like,
just get the Hawks a few times in a row.
Jeez, that's a tough draw. If they can't beat no Whitfield, no Kelly, no Perryman,
yeah,
that's a long, long draw.
It's not going to be pretty over here.
But you're right.
Be pretty regardless.
Ross the Boss, though, did we expect? Is Ross the Boss getting too much credit for that, or was Freo just shit?
I think maybe.
Column A, column B.
I think it kind of swung a little bit to Ross the genius.
They went a bit too far, didn't it?
Yeah. I think if you play that game 8 times out of 10, Freo wins.
I think so.
Maybe 8.5.
Yeah, I think they probably won the one.
Well, it's just it just looked like a Ross Lyon game. So I think that's why people immediately went to Ross Lyon.
We've seen Freo do that a few times, though.
We have, but it just looked. It reminded everyone so much of that, 2012.
Oh, yeah, God, yeah.
When he started at clubs and he's just trying to, limit the bleeding.
The people are like, oh, gee whiz, what's Ross done differently? The game's going to change for good here. Fremantle just don't need to chip it around as much and take the game on a bit, and away they go.
If the game changes to Ross's style across the board, I think we'll all pack up and go.
Yes.
Home,
yeah, all of a sudden I'm heading to Redcliffe. I'm a Dolphin man.
Fins up.
Did you see that bloke doing the TikTok rounds who is the not Wayne Bennett or I am Wayne Bennett?
Oh, it looks exactly.
He's their number 1 ticket holder. And he just goes off his head, mate, off his rocket. I'm going to be careful what I say because I don't know if he's completely...
Yeah.
But, he's the number 1 ticket supporter and it's like he is the most passionate supporter of something he's followed for 100 years. Well, not 100 days.
I mean, you see these people at the waffle, right? The rusted on, you're like, I'm not sure if that bloke's...
Yeah.
So that's obviously they've jumped to the elite level and just brought him off for the ride.
Maybe he's completely... he's just passionate and they love it. He's even doing things with the players.
We love the passion.
I love it.
You love these people,
we
right?
love the passion.
I'm going to find... He's got that... Oh, I've got to find him.
Fins up.
Hey, before we move on to the next one, I went for a historical precedent here. So when Mick Moldhouse left Collingwood, just going back to Ross coming back here. When Mick Moldhouse left West Coast to go to Collingwood at the end of 99, how long do you reckon it took for Mick to come back and face West Coast here in WA?
Tell me this wasn't a little agreement with the AFL or something. It has to be... it's a trick question. I would have said round 1.
Okay.
Yeah.
Rinny?
I'll go in the mid round 10.
Okay. So first game that he coached against West Coast was in Melbourne. Second one was also in Melbourne. Third one was also in Melbourne. He didn't come back here to face West Coast until he'd done nearly 3 whole seasons at Collingwood.
People have forgotten.
It was late in his 3rd season at the Pies.
That might have been a...
That's extraordinary.
Was it Demetrio?
It would have been the Demetrio,
there's going to be a big announcement. We just want to stay away from Perth if we can.
Yeah, also just Collingwood not travelling.
Actually, I suppose it's probably do a bit of research on all the coaches.
That was a famous footy show one, wasn't it, right? They busted him and Eddie having a coffee.
Oh, really?
I think I remember this vision.
So this is
you, man.
This is the guy. He loves it.
Oh, g'day everyone. Hey, I'm in the car for safety. Guess what? 3 for 3! Fins up, baby! Woo! Can't stop, won't stop!
Yeah, that is solely why I'm a Dolphins man. Fins up, baby.
Okay, I wanted to table this one. If round 1 got us a little bit excited, we were well off them. We're renowned for going too heavy into these people on this podcast.
Yeah.
It's GWS. Do we believe? Do we have belief?
Mate.
Have you backed them for the flag?
10 wins was I did touch the 10 wins. Yeah.
Didn't chat about this at the top of the show, actually. Tom Green.
Yes.
He's now curious about his own lineage.
We interviewed Tom Green yesterday on Triple M around him being potentially my son. And he actually went along with it brilliantly, Tom Green. He was like...
He wouldn't let you get out of it either.
No, he's like, I'm excited by the prospect of taking this test and all this sort of stuff. And then my host...
So would you say he had a similar kind of character to you? Is it kind of like father, like son?
No, he sounded a lot cleverer than I am. But anyway, and then to finish, Michelle, my colleague, said, oh, you were living in Townsville. I just picked towns. Townsville, Rockingham, Canberra, and your dad's in the army, meaning Zave should be scared. And he goes, yeah, and Zave, with your footy, you're on the road a fair bit, so I can see the possibility of it happening.
This is going to be great if it actually comes off.
Imagine if it did. I was like, yeah, he's my kid. How'd that happen?
But yeah, GWS, where we sit with them. Best thing about them, and that game on the weekend, and obviously Kelly isn't going to miss this time, but it was what we've been calling for years. Yeah. They had a midfield order. Centre bouncers, Canelio 26, Green 25, Kelly 21, Ward 17. That's it.
No more.
Everyone else got ones. Nah. There were a couple of ones and twos, but that was it.
And Finn on the wing.
Stay
there.
Yeah. And
Ware was on the other wing. Stay there. Whitfield, roam around the back. Actually, I will say Whitfield did annoy me a fraction. He's too good a player to not be seen and then just run down and do a couple of kick-ins and kick long.
Yeah, totally.
That's the only thing I'd say. And I think they were talking, Kingy maybe in the commentary, someone said he hasn't had a good year, and they're like, well, hang on. And then they dug a little bit deeper. He was like 9th, I think, for score involvements on the list.
Yeah, right.
I mean, he should be as high as anyone for score involvements on the list, because you want him kicking inside 59 times a game.
Yeah,
that just shows that it's the jog out of the goal square, kick it long.
Yeah.
That should not count.
Push him up further to half back, going up the ground, right?
I just think he's a perfect wingman.
Yeah, you just locked him in.
Wingman that can go back for just run wherever you want.
Anyway. Go through those CBAs again. So who steps in there in the absence of Kelly and Perryman this week?
Ward maybe lifts a bit. So it's Canelio 26, Green 25.
So Canelio,
Kelly
Green
21.
And Ward. And then who's the fourth guy who's going to jump in there?
Could it be a little bit of Brent Daniels? Remember, he was doing a lot of up the ground stuff before he got injured.
Yeah,
he was looking good before he got injured a couple
Could we
years ago.
see Callahan inserted in there for a little bit?
I think he did 2.
Yeah, I don't know if you want to.
No, leave him on the wing.
Just fits and spurts?
But I just reckon and I think, for example, Sheasel, Dacos, just put him in a spot and let him.
Role.
Yeah, and I think when I first started, it was bench, inside midfielder, forward pocket, back pocket, and it is it hurts. The inconsistency hurts you. And either just be better, and that wouldn't happen, but I wasn't, so I had to do it. And I think for Finn, just let him be a wingman. Don't worry about him standing next to Luke Shuey, because he'll go one-on-one and think, oh shit, it's Shuey. Just play on the wing, find the footy. Sheasel, play half back, have it 30 times. Dacos, play off half back, have it 30 times. In 5 years' time, you might be seen as one of the best players in the comp, and you have the confidence in the world to play in those positions.
Yeah.
So finals on offer.
GWS.
Yeah,
I would say no.
Where do you think? What's their ceiling? There's ceiling's probably.
I think they can stay in contention.
10th.
I think they'll be in the mix the whole way through, but
I'd say, yeah.
I think they ultimately
I think
fall
that's
short.
probably about right.
Yeah.
And they can't have games where they've got. I don't think Perryman's a good player, but 2 of their top 4 not playing.
Yeah, this is a little bit of a concern. Kelly and Whitfield out.
I tell you what, there's one team that's nervous. Giants got away with one on the weekend, 26 points down, three on the bench down, 36 degrees. They're coming over here with a free hit.
True. They are coming off a 36-degree day. Everyone cramped on a flight.
Yeah, but a free hit if they expect to win, but they've won one game already, so they're only meant to win. Their line was 9 wins or something. That's one every 2.5 games.
Yeah, they're on the way,
and they've got a team that's going to be doing that.
So
I just did a twitching signal.
Where's your money right now? Because that's the toughest game of the weekend to tip for me. Giants Eagles. Who do you like right now?
I was pretty big on the weekend backing against both WA sides.
Yeah.
I just think...
The whole way through?
Yeah, I didn't cash out or anything.
No, I mean, we talk about this weekend.
Oh, no. This weekend's a bit different, but next week I'll probably do it again, yeah. So I don't know. At home's a bit different, but $1.40 Fremantle. I tweeted or said, West Coast 6 weren't $1.40 in Melbourne round 1 against anyone.
They came in a lot, Freo.
Yeah, too short.
Yeah.
I think I would expect gun to the head both WA sides to win.
It's we were just talking about it before we came in. The surface, which I hadn't really considered at all, but coming off a concert into back-to-back games. Yeah. See how it holds up by the end of the game, right?
It's going to be a big talking point. Big watch for the weekend.
Hardball bets. Thanks to the Tab Touch app.
This is Hardball Bets with thanks to Tab Touch. Got the touch this AFL season. Choose Tab Touch and better your bet with Tab Touch. Gamble responsibly. Call Gamblers Help on 1-800-858-858. Rynne versus Robbo.
How'd we end up last week?
Not good.
We both got docked.
Yeah.
Last leg of both of them.
I was all right too coming in. It was Taranto plus 30, Gunston
and Gunston 2. Did you see how Gunston kicked his second?
Yeah. Oh, I didn't actually see it. I saw the one.
I'll tell you how it happened. It was literally the last 90 seconds of the game. Game over. Brisbane getting absolutely rolled. Ball deep in defence, and the Port Adelaide defender literally couldn't kick it over the man on the mark. Gunston got a hand on it and ran in and kicked the goal. It's the cheapest.
I thought I was dead in the water, and then I checked after the game. And you got one.
And then Freo happened.
Didn't know it was that.
Yeah, very upsetting. I'm going back to Freo this weekend. Sure thing against the Kangas. So I'm Freo by 15 or more.
Kanga. Roo.
Into the Bulldogs, who are playing St Kilda. I think St Kilda get a bit of a reality check this weekend. Into Melbourne to beat Brisbane up in Brisbane.
Okay, they're favourites, right?
It's paying $4. It's about 50-50.
Yeah, okay.
But I can't go past what Melbourne did to Brisbane in the last round of last year. It's just stuck in my head where they just absolutely destroyed them. Brisbane missing a few.
The Brisbane bounce back.
Melbourne getting a few back potentially. Fridge maybe. Christian Salem.
That's one of the. If the Eagles GWS is the toughest to tip, that's number 2. Right?
That'll be the game of the weekend. Yeah, should be good. What do you got?
Well, it's going up against. Speaking of the fins up, it's going up against the Dolphins versus Broncos in the same city.
What are they calling that?
I think it's just the Brisbane Derby.
Brisbane Derby.
Yeah,
Brisbane
Derby. 4X Derby.
It would be Derby.
They haven't got just a more fancy name for it?
No. Well, I don't think the fancy names ever really stick, do they?
It's not really a...
okay, so I've just held up some breaking news about Taron Thomas. Doesn't look like he's coming back anytime soon. Right, so I'm going to go just an anytime goal scorer multi. I'm going to go Zach Fisher at Carlton, Josh Dunkley at Brisbane, and Connor Rozee at Port. Roll them up together, that gives you 548.
And some pretty good celebrations as well, probably.
Some pretty good celebrations amongst
a Zach Fisher celebration.
Really like Zach Fisher early in that game, and then he was up closer to the ball, and then he went. Yeah. Big Zach Fisher fan. The future, they called him at Perth Footy Club.
The future is now.
The future is now.
No, he's not the future anymore. He's the now.
All right, so that's Hardball Bets for the week, and this has been the Hardball Gets AFL show with thanks to the Mazda BT50. You do Ute. We'll see you next time.